Welcome to the Everyday Awesome Project, where we bring you inspirational stories and game-changing strategies to live your most awesome life. Hey, superstars, welcome back. Polly here.
And a very tired Samantha Pruitt. What's up, beautiful humans?
We are coming to you post Ironman 2.0.
Yeah.
You have completed yet another successful Ironman, and we want to talk about one of your key takeaways as I was, there for your race. We're calling this episode Play the Cards You're Dealt. And that's something you said to me a few times at mile like 105, 125, whatever. Tell us what does that mean to you? Where did that come from in that race? Do you recall the moment or?
I do. It came super early on, which is sort of
Unfortunately.
I was already like, okay. So this is what we're doing today, right?
Right. 140 mile 0.6, right? That's the total that we're talking about.
Swimming, open water swimming, road biking, and then running.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the day just didn't go as planned. And as we know in life, never mind ultra endurance sports, it's common that things don't go as planned. So that's not the big takeaway, right? I mean, I did learn those lessons, by the way, when I started endurance sports 25 or whatever the hell years it was. I got to learn those lessons.
You got that first lesson.
Different. Yeah. I got that one a few times.
Wheels are going to go off the bus.
Universe is like sending memos.
Hey, remember this? Yeah.
Special delivery. This is different though. So yeah, the swim didn't at all go as planned. I had, mild hypothermia. I had some issues in the water. Swim out wasn't that bad, but just a long submersion in the cold water. And then I ended up getting cramps. So once you get cramps, like full leg and calf and feet cramps in the water, you cannot swim anymore. So I had that happen twice. I basically was stuck out there in the water, just in the cold, sitting there, freezing my ass off, shivering and waiting for the cramps to pass. Luckily, there's kayakers and safety, patrol out there. So I worked through that. I did get out of the water, 20 minutes later than I had hoped, but nonetheless, and then recovered from that. So very quickly, once I actually got my brain function back, so mild hyperthermia, you can barely walk, you can't talk, your brain is not functioning because your core body temperature is
shivering. Yeah, you're just like all your extremities are just locked up, ice boxes on your hands and your feet and just trying to maneuver, right?
Well, you've totally had this before. You had this recently in the Morro Bay Tri too. Like, your hands lock up, everything. So you basically become non-functional.
And you're like,
and you're trying to get through the transition area, whatever, and you look like a total fool. And
people luckily are cheering you, and you're like, oh yeah, I feel like a dinosaur right now.
Yeah, and all the people around me were like being helped and supported. People were like carrying them or whatever, and I was like, don't touch me. Let me just get into the tent. But how I was explaining to you is like, before I had this revelation of playing the cards that I was being dealt that day and really moving through it and self-coaching myself in that way, I was already doing it. So I got into the tent. People helped me get my wetsuit off and all that stuff. I couldn't do any of that stuff. But once I got into the tent and sat on the chair, they basically said, you're in pretty bad shape. And most of the people around me were at that point. We'd been in the water a long time. You should go into the warming tent, which is next door. I knew immediately and instinctively that was a hell no. So into the warming tent means, you need to get medically looked at. It could be that this is not the right decision for you to move forward. And you're going to be sitting here while we evaluate you for 20 minutes or whatever as you come back to full function. So that was a hell no for me.
Wow.
But I did immediately assess, okay, what can I do? So I need to, this is a micro moment opportunity for me to just be completely present in what is possible for me now. Okay. So letting go of what had just transpired. I'm out of the water. I'm safe. Okay. So now I need to do what? I need to get these clothes off, which I couldn't. I literally had people helping me take off my sports bra, my clothes. And then I need to put clothes on. And I'm, asking, luckily there's women, volunteers in there. My hands don't work. Can you help me get my socks on? Like, it's these ridiculous things. And you feel like an infant at that moment.
Yeah.
But it's what you can do.
Yeah.
It's what you have available to you. And so I'm so glad I have that inner strength and knowing of myself that I still know that I'm safe. I'm not medically at risk here. I personally can assess myself pretty well at this point. I've been in such extreme situations. And then asking for help, and then just moving myself forward one sock at a time,
Mhm.
one small thing at a time, having that person help me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Made my way to the tent, got onto the bike, and then as soon as I was on the bike and moving, of course, I'm still freezing and I'm not feeling fantastic by any means, but I'm just like, oh shit. And I just took a deep breath and I said, okay, I'm about 30 minutes behind my projected schedule, which is not horrible. There's a big clock
Mhm.
on this day,
Mhm. Mhm.
but this is definitely eating away at many of the opportunities I would have had later to stop at aid stations, take my time, be more
Yeah.
methodical about this or that or whatever. So then I realized, okay, you have got to focus for the next 112 miles,
Wow.
not for an hour, not for a couple hours, but you need to stay completely focused on the task at hand and the
Mm.
cards that you are holding,
Mm.
and you need to play those cards.
Mm.
What are they? And I literally just started going through in my brain and thinking through, okay, what are the things I can do?
Mm.
What do I have power over now? What are my resources? Okay, well, I can totally dial in my nutrition, be incredibly diligent about getting calories back in now that I'm so depleted, about getting some warm calories in, about covering up every body of my part. I had like my ears covered and my nose covered, like things I normally wouldn't have necessarily done. I
Mhm.
now had to be really detailed about that. And that was me just kind of assessing the cards. And then realistically, you have to go faster than you had anticipated. You have to
Wow.
put more caloric and energy output, and you
Wow.
have to stay on top of that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not going to be a lady of leisure ride through the desert,
Yeah.
Samantha Pruitt. It's just not going to be that.
And I just want to frame this for people. So your first Ironman, or your last Ironman was a little about 14 hours, let's say a little more than 14 hours. Just take that in for a moment, people. Like doing hard exercise for 14 hours. Like that's basically kind of the hours that you're awake in a day and you're going the whole
Moving.
time. Yeah, moving the whole time. And just you had not slept the night before because I remember that, like you got crappy sleep the night before, whatever, and la la la. So I just wanted to frame that as we go into this day, and into these experiences, how 2 hours into a 14-hour day or 2+ hours into a 14-hour day, how some people, as you said, around you were losing hope already, right?
Oh, totally.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
many people, of course, didn't make it out of the swim, or once they made it out of the swim, they decided that their day was over, which that happens. That's their ride. They
yeah,
can
yeah,
do, play their cards however they want.
yeah.
Except I would beg to say that they didn't review the cards in their hand at that point, right? Like
Mm.
there is still time, there is still opportunity. You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what's going to happen next,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So stay in the damn game. So
Mhm.
anyway, I got out there, I did the ride. It was way more effort than I anticipated because, surprise, it's a 3-loop course, and you do a big climb at the back, and then you turn around and you get all this great downhill. And so I was planning on averaging 17 to 18 miles an hour for the whole ride, which means heading out 15, 16 miles an hour, coming back at 22, 24 miles an hour. Well, as we turn, headwind is coming at us 20 plus miles per hour, and I'm doing 10 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour on the descent when I should be going about 20 to 22. So that's slightly ludicrous. And of course,
Yeah.
this is happening to everybody. So
Yeah.
people were just so pissed off, and it was just
Oh,
crazy.
and
But
of
I was
course
like, oh,
you're not like lull it, like you don't give up. Number one, you said there's a lot of people just on the bike ride who are like, what's happening here?
lots of bailing. Yeah, lots of frustration and bailing. They know they're not going to meet their time goals, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then they know that now I'm going to be chasing cutoffs.
yeah.
And that doesn't feel good.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
isn't. I mean, I really have never really chased cutoffs like that, except for like once or twice ever. And it is a different place to view the world from.
Hmm.
But it is what
Hmm.
it is.
Hmm.
So during that bike, staying focused, staying really aware, and continuously like reviewing my cards, if you will, like,
Hmm.
am I on top of my nutrition? Am I warm enough? Can I go faster? I mean, obviously I need to stay in aero position, which I didn't anticipate. Riding for 100 miles in aero position, it's incredibly uncomfortable. I don't care who you are. and what your private parts look like, it is not a good position for people to be in. I mean, I'm not racing for money.
And aero just
But
means instead of like sitting up on a bike, like in a chair kind of thing, you're tucked over in like a pike. You're like over the top of your bike, just hunched over trying to get aerodynamic is what, yeah.
right. And your arms are in a different position and you don't have access necessarily to your shifters and your brakes. So you're in a much more vulnerable, intense,
Mhm.
position to be riding. It's
Yeah.
not comfortable at all. But did that for 3 laps. And until the third lap, I really was still kind of, I think I'm going to make the bike cutoff. There's cutoffs all the way along each of the courses. So I made the swim cutoff. Am I going to make the bike cutoff? I did make it, and I had just over 20 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to work incredibly hard to get all the way back to the finish, start the run to make that additional cutoff. So
Mhm.
again, just staying super tuned in to what in the heck is going on with me, not in the
Mhm.
world, in the places I can't control,
Mhm.
and trying not to get distracted by what was going on around me with the other
Mhm.
humans, which is hard for me. I'm a very compassionate type, so I want to therapy and counsel all the
Mhm.
people out there that are just having, but I couldn't. I like didn't have the bandwidth really.
Mhm.
Um, so focused. What can I do? I can continue to fuel. I can be stretching now, as I'm turning corners and changing position with my legs at least. Maybe I can't get our arrow, but like I can stretch my calves that were cramped for 30
Mhm.
minutes in this way. Like I can start doing some things that will allow me to hopefully run when I get off this damn bike.
And the bike is like 7 hours, 8 hours, was it? I'm
So
trying to
my
remember.
goal was just under 7, but it took me over 8 hours.
8 hours on the
So again,
bike.
an additional hour to be out there.
Um,
Yeah. I did,
yeah,
of course, make the cutoff. So then I transitioned to the run,
yeah.
and that's a relatively easy transition for me. And I generally look forward to running, but I had hoped to run the whole thing, and I had a certain pace in mind, etc. And the run ended up taking me about an additional extra hour also than I'd anticipated. And primarily that was because I was in pain. So
Mm,
my lower back and my abdominal region were completely inflamed from being in that crappy position. And so by the time I came to stand up and have good form to run forward, to
mm,
propel my body forward for an entire marathon, my entire pelvic structure and hips and low back and everything, and my gut,
mm,
they weren't really interested in this marathon. They weren't really up for that. So I had to just, again, assess what are my options here? What do I have? Do I have some pain management resources? What do I need to be doing with my fuel? Can I change my position? So, for example, I had a pack on for the first loop. This is a 3 loop course. And I had a waist pack. I had to take it off. I had to eliminate 100% of the clothing pretty much that I was wearing or any of
mhm,
the things and expose my abdominals. I mean, hey, whatever. It's not attractive, but I had to like relieve the pain from things, even the fabric of my shorts and skin or that pack, that fanny pack thing touching me was too
mm,
much. It
mm,
was too painful. So making these choices and continuing to kind of review and assess, what can I do next? How can I handle this? How can I process it? And sometimes there was nothing I could do.
mm,
It was
mm,
just going to be what it was going to be, but I did know I could keep moving forward. So
mm,
I ran, a good chunk of it, not as much as I would have liked to, but I saw you guys out there cheering for me. And of course, that totally helped and was wonderful.
mhm.
Um, and that helps a lot, by the way, when you see people and they're supporting you and cheering you, like that is a whole, energy source that is a resource
Oh,
for all of
girl,
us.
when I hit lap 2, or did I have 2 laps at my Ironman?
Hmm.
Yeah. When I came in after my first lap of running and you had pulled some people out of a local restaurant and I was coming in and I was like just fading, fading, fading. And you're like, yeah. And
Oh, yeah, and
I
they
was
were all
like,
screaming your name, and you're like, "Who are these 12 people?"
what the
I don't
heck?
and you had your own
Do,
personal
do, do.
cheerleading squad, and they're all like, "Polly,
It's
Polly," and all this. It
true.
was so fun.
It's true. I just went, okay, I guess I'm going back out. I'm not giving up. I was like, okay, they think I can do this, right? And it's true, and so that's why it's so just as a spectator, not only witnessing you and supporting you, but being able to give love and energy to all these racers. I mean, Dave and I were out there for hours and hours just on the
Totally.
sidelines, just, high-fiving people. And this one guy started spanking people's butts, and we were just trying to make it light and love and, whatever. So
Hmm.
having those people around you, right? Having your biggest fans around you can make such a energy, it can like revive your energy. So I get you.
And being the athlete, which, I've been the athlete, the fan, the spectator, the racer, all the different roles, right, in this realm. Being the athlete, you tend to put your head down, enter the pain cave, and then never come up for air. That's a big mistake. Many of
Mm,
us make. There were very big, many moments where I entered the pain cave and I just was hunkered down in it, just grinding, basically. Um, but by the time I got to the run, there were still those moments happening, literally, where I had to force myself to run, basically, like, you are freaking running. And the only time you'll be walking is if there's a hill. And there's only 2 hills on this entire marathon course. So you're not going to get a lot of that opportunity.
mm,
But looking up and like forcing myself to bring my chest up and take deep breaths and look around and see what was going on around me at the aid stations and stuff like that, that's an energy source.
mhm,
There's
mhm.
fuel there. That's a card that you can play
It
that
can
is
be.
always
Yeah.
in your hand,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So I
Right.
eventually saw you guys. I was watching the cutoffs and I was like, okay, now it's getting sketchy. This is not looking good. There is a midnight cutoff, which is a 17-hour race clock for this particular event. And I said to you guys, highly unlikely I'm going to make the final cutoff, but I will continue no matter what. And I
Mhm.
will finish 140.6 miles of swimming, biking, running today on my own watch, however that looks. I don't care if they make me take my bib off and I go running a different direction, whatever. I'm committed to that goal. I'm here with great intention as to my why, and I will be getting that done today. So you
Mhm.
guys are in for a long night. I was educated.
Mhm.
You're going to be here for a
We were,
while.
and that was so it was about
And you
10,
might have to become my only aid station.
and that was like 10:15. You came by us and you're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finish. And you had like another lap, a whole another 6 or something miles to go. And seeing the pace that you're doing, like up until that point, Dave and I were like, she's not gonna make it. She's
Mhm.
not gonna make it. But kudos for you saying, I'm still gonna do it. I'm not gonna like bow out now. Because right there where you passed us, you could have bowed out and said, oh, I'm close to the car. Let's just call it a night. I'm not gonna hit that finish or whatever. And it was like, no, I'm gonna finish what I started. That's how
Yeah.
I saw this is like, and after I saw you do that, and I was like, man, I'm gonna keep giving energy to those people behind you. And I said, man, you came here, finish what you started, finish what you started, finish what you came here to start, and just all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, just reminding people like why you are in this, right? So,
Yes, exactly. Like, why did they do all this training and pay for
yeah,
this and travel here and toe the line and all
a
that?
year of their life or more. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
didn't go as you had hoped. Who the
Mhm.
hell cares? I
Mhm.
mean, it's just an unpredictable game called life. You just don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Again, whatever the cards are that you were dealt that day, play those cards.
Yeah,
Play
for
those
sure.
cards. Stay in the game. I mean, this is your life, right? This is what you've invested. No
Mhm.
external judgment, anyone else's idea about how fast I was going, how slow I was going, what was all happening. Give a shit. What does that have to do with
No,
anything? That's not even real life. Those are just
totally.
made up stories.
Yeah. I think when people get up to, amazing things, whether it's a business, relationship, ultra type things or whatnot, it's like it's yours to own. Like this is your race to run. This is your challenge that you've put before yourself, right? You've started a business, you've, started this race, and it's like, I'm gonna keep going, right? And one
Yeah.
of the, and we'll talk in a minute, we'll like kind of hit on our key points, but
Hmm.
it's like finish what you started. Like you got into this for a reason. Remember that.
Yeah. And it's not just finish what you started, because that can be a thing, right? Like, that's important. You've made a
Yeah.
commitment to yourself and you
Yeah.
should finish the things that you start. But like, so much shit's going to go terribly wrong in your life. I mean,
Mhm.
come on. That
Yeah.
we're having a human experience here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
it
like,
doesn't matter what it is. It's
yeah.
going to be messy. It's going to be chaotic. Things are going to happen that you
Very
have
little,
never predicted.
very
You
little
know?
goes according to plan, right? Yeah.
Right. Right,
So,
right, right.
what
But
is
you
it
know,
they say? The space shuttle is off track 99.9% of the time. It's just constantly taking, when they shoot off a missile to go to the moon,
okay,
it's
that's hilarious.
oh, I don't know if you knew. Yeah, it's off course constantly, and they're just making little micro adjustments to keep it on track. So it's like constantly shifting, shifting, shifting as it makes its way to, landing on the moon, if you will. It's off track a lot.
Okay, that's a really great analogy of exactly what we're talking about, right?
Mhm.
And we have had businesses, supported businesses, had relationships. We've done a lot of different things. All the people listening have done a myriad of things and are doing a ton of different things right now. The idea of it going a certain way as we originally set out for it to be
Mhm.
is laughable at
Mm,
best,
mm, for
right?
sure, for sure.
So we'll just end that story and move on to what we're really here to talk
But
about
wait,
today, which
but
is
wait,
not my.
you have to tell them the finale. Or I have to tell them from a spectator's.
There was an ending. What do you think happened?
So I will say, so
Yeah.
for Dave and I as the spectators, and I would love to hear how it was feeling for you in the last few miles and hour or whatnot. So Dave and I, we'd been out all day. I think total we put like 40,000 steps on that day or something.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay. We're like, okay, we won't see her until the end when she comes in. It's about 2 hours is what we were picturing with your current pace. Okay, let's go in the car and warm up because it's like 10:30 at night and we're freezing, I mean, you're running around with like shorts and half dressed and
Tank
we're
top.
and we're, totally. And so we go into the car. It's like, okay, we'll just get warm for a little bit. And I felt totally shameful for that. I mean, you're out running your little heart off and we're like in the car getting warm. But it's like we're taking care of ourselves,
Yeah, as you should be.
for the next
So
couple
you can
hours.
carry me at whatever point I stop moving.
Yes. So come an hour later, 11:30 rolls around. We're checking where you are because you got this little tracker and we can see where you are. And your pace had picked up.
Mm.
And we're like, what is going on right now? Wait a minute. And we started calculating. We're like, wait a minute. She might actually make it, like make it in the 12-hour cutoff. We're like, no freaking way. So we sat there, we're like, well, I mean, we're definitely going to be there at the end, but it's like suddenly it's like, oh, we might need to be there earlier, instead of 10 minutes or 15 minutes after the cutoff. You might make it on time. We jump out of the car, we're like, holy cow, this is, and we're just like we had this panicky, nervous energy for you, like, she might make it, she might not, she might make it, she might not, and we're like excited, all these emotions at one time, like, holy cow, what's going to happen? How's this going to go? You're like, how's this going to end up? Just like
Mm.
walking to the finish line going, I have no idea if she's going to do this. It could be 2 minutes under, 2 minutes over. My mind is blown away anyway, just that you're doing 140.6 miles, whatever. You getting to the finish line of that race is just like amazing. We're standing there on the sidelines watching your tracker. I'm like, oh my God, she's like coming up on it. Oh my God, I think she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it. And then we start, and this tracker wasn't exactly
Accurate.
accurate all the
Yeah.
time. Like
Yeah.
at one point it had you finishing the swim like an hour earlier than you did. We're like, where's she at? Why isn't she coming around? So it had been off and we're like, is she there? Is she where
Mhm.
we think she is? And
Exactly.
all of a sudden I see you like come up and it's like 11 or no, I think you had like 8 minutes and you're within a quarter mile or, a tenth of a mile. And I'm like, oh my God, she's doing this. And we just were like bananas. Like you've done it. You've done it. And you crossed before. Well, I gave the story away, but you
Yeah,
crossed in time. It was
I
absolutely
did.
spectacular.
I had just over 7 minutes to spare on the clock. I could have gone slower. What was I
That's like a
pushing so
mile a
hard?
minute you took off. I mean, no, you took off like 2 miles a minute, two
Yeah.
2 minutes
Hmm.
per mile from what you had been doing. It was just like at the end you can do that. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely superhuman, dude. Superhuman.
Yeah.
So great. Mhm.
It was an interesting journey out there in the abyss because when you're that far at the back, there's not a lot of people. Luckily, the aid stations stayed open, and that was miraculous. Not that I really needed aid at that point, but it just meant there was humans on the course, so you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
feel like there's
Okay.
some signs of life every mile and a half.
Yeah.
People are at least
Just
yelling at
running in the
you or
dark
whatever.
and yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a music or whatever they've got going on. Um, I mean, I just wanted to not leave anything on the table.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
didn't actually know whether I was going to make it or not. I hoped I could, and I was willing to see if I could and charge forward as fast as I possibly could, you know, and do what I could do, like dig as deep as I could dig and leave nothing on the table. But there was absolutely no guarantees, you know, until I got within like a quarter mile and I was like, holy, there was another gal and she was walking and I was running at that point. I ran up on her, you know, who knows how slow I was running, but nonetheless, I was running and she's walking. And I said, do you want to run? Because you're in front of me and I would love for you to finish in front of me. So I don't share the finish shoot with you, but you need to run. And she said, I just can't and I won't. And I was like, okay, I'm going. I'm going. So I got into that shoot and yeah, it was amazing. They had like fireworks and all this crazy
Fireworks,
stuff. It was so cool. Yeah. And all these people were like, you're an Ironman. I said, Iron Woman, Iron Woman. I was high-fiving all these random people, telling them Iron Woman, Iron Woman. And yeah, I finished. I mean, I felt immediately horrible the minute I crossed that finish
You're
line
like,
because
give
I had
me,
pushed so hard. I thought, I'm gonna poop myself or puke, so I need to immediately go to a bathroom and make that happen. You know, that's the glamour nature of the sport or whatever.
yeah.
But I got it done, and it was incredibly powerful. To meet my goal. And what I said is I was coming in, and you took a video of this, which is classic. I think I posted it on social media, but I said, I close deals. That's what I told you. I effing close deals. I made a deal with myself and a deal with this race course, and I freaking closed the deal. That's it. It's just personal commitment to self. No one else is affected by whether that happens for me or not. Okay, you guys were there and bearing witness and you were part of that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if I did or did not make it, you would still love me. I would still be the same person. Like, there's no harm or foul or judgment around that, you know?
It's you and you, dude. You and
Me
you.
and me. Yeah.
Right. And so what that reminds me of is one of the key takeaways that I got and I wanted to share is like extreme ownership. You know, I know there's a famous
Extreme
book about that
ownership.
now, you know, self-leadership, extreme ownership, whatever you want to refer to it. It's like you took ownership for the outcome, the race that you were going to have every single moment. You're like, what can I do? What is within my realm? I can't put my socks on, but you guys can. Okay, put my socks on for me. Like asking for help or, you know, watching your nutrition or staying in aero, even though it was uncomfortable. Whatever you need to do is never just like, I'm bouncing out, people. You know, you're like, I'm doing the most and the best that I can do. I'm having ownership of my result, my outcome, my experience, my mindset as best you can, right? You know, sometimes the body's doing what it's going to do, and you're just like, hey, body, work with me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of focus, I think that's what I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
Not just playing the hand I was dealt that day, as shitty as it was, playing it anyway, and staying in the game. I knew I was going to stay in the game. I was shocked at myself, the amount of focus I could deliver for 17 hours, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. I could deliver the damn goods and stay focused and stay fully in it, like moment by moment. And that a little bit blew me away about myself and my own like biggest takeaway from my personal growth is that, like,
Yeah.
damn, what if you were to channel that over here or on this thing or on that project or with this other mission in your life? And it really, for me, was like game changer.
Wow.
It's cool.
You know, because I think you know, as you've gone through other hurdles that you've passed in your life, extreme things that you've done, adventures, experiences, or whatnot, it's like a capacity. Like when you started to say that, I talked about our capacity. I was like, your capacity for focus, your ability to dig and find a new level within yourself of focus was tried that day. It was like, oh, if this race had gone, quote, as planned, it would be Samantha 1.0. You know, it would be, you know, it would be like pre whatever this race was there to give you. And one of the things we talked about is, you know, I texted you on the race. You probably didn't see, but it was like, this is where you find out who you are, right? These are the moments. This is where we talked in your pre-race interview. It was like, why do you do these things? It's like to find out more of who I am. And this was a gift to yourself. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That can be utilized in any and all arenas of my life. So that's why we want to deliver this message today, is not to tell my race story, as ludicrous as it is, and whatever shenanigans went on there that day. That was a day in the life. The message is we all show up every day into so many ever-changing circumstances, right? So if we're trying to achieve anything with our lives, with our livelihoods, with relationship, with business, with personal performance, whatever it is, you really have no idea what's about to go down. So first of all, just accept the reality of that you don't have any control. Get a grip, all of you
Mhm.
control freaks. And by the way, I'm one of those people that's always been,
Be prepared and then expect anything, Yeah.
expect anything. And then expect anything from yourself. So the toolbox is something you have created and you carry around with you. It's your toolbox. I didn't expect, and I don't expect, someone to walk up to me in my moments with their toolbox and be like, let me fix all the things for you that are going terribly wrong in your business, Samantha, or in your relationships, or in your finances, or in your whatever the hell, fill in the blank. No one else is coming along with the toolbox. The toolbox is yours to build, and only then can you fully access those tools that you have built and crafted and skilled and like that you have mastered. It's unique to each of us.
And I think, what's beautiful about how you go about life, and I just want to shine a spotlight on this. I heard Alex Hormozy, a YouTuber guy, say, um, you know, like a philosophy he has is the things that we are up to in life, the challenges that we face, whether it's death of a loved one, a relationship that ends, a career that doesn't start, whatever it is, right? That's growth moments. Like if you want to, like he said something like, do you think that the universe contrived this scenario called life? And if you want us humans, spiritual beings or whatever, to evolve and to become more patient, focused, clear, self-empowered, whatever, you would just
Compassionate.
compassionate and all these things that we could become more of or get more in touch with ourselves, would we make it easier, more comfortable? It's like, no, to learn patience, you get put in situations that teach you patience. To learn focus,
Yeah.
you, my dear, put yourself in situations, maybe not knowing that was what Ironman, Iron Woman 2.0 was going to do, but you don't know, but situations like this, like life's moments, life's experiences teach us more about what's inside of us and what we have capacity for, what we are good at, what we can do, not what we can't do. And it's like the beauty of these races that you do, we talked about like, why would you do 100 miles? Why would you do something for 17 hours? These are just like insane extremes for some people, right? For you, it's more like normal now. So you don't love doing it. You don't want to do it every day. You're not the Iron Cowboy, 100 of these back to back. Like that's pretty, right? You learn some challenging things on that. But you're like, I'm not going to just go through life blipping along at ordinary, right? I'm choosing extraordinary. I'm choosing awesomeness, right? And so you find those moments, you find those things that light you up to push yourself further, farther. And in those moments that you do, you get the gifts. You walk away with the gems, not just the medal, but the gems about who you are.
To me, it's continuous self-investment.
Mhm.
So I want to explore my full potential physically, emotionally, spiritually, like in all aspects of Sam Pruitt developing who she is as a human being in this one precious body, in this one precious life. Like I want to have the full experience.
Mhm.
I'm not here to get halfway through the ride and then, become a retired person sitting on the beach with my feet up in a lawn chair, just staring
Mhm.
out at the sunrise. Okay, people, if that's what you choose to do, it's great. But like there's so much to experience, and I'll never fully be able to experience it all. But I want to at least give it a shot because I
Yeah.
think I am totally worth it. And the
Mhm.
amount that I learn about myself and the world,
Mhm.
not just self-love and acceptance, personal belonging to my full expression of self, but to humanity. The more I give that to myself, the more I can express that out in
Mhm.
humanity and feel that for others. I
For
mean,
sure.
it's incredible. It's
For sure.
incredible.
And, I just want to give people permission to not need to sign up for a race or
Yeah.
something that is your mode of pushing yourself to find new areas of yourself. But there's already probably areas of your life that maybe you're on your heels, not on your toes about, right? You're waiting for somebody else to make a decision about, or life to get easier for, instead of you getting on your toes and going, I'm going to get into some action about this. I'm going to take a step, make a change, make a decision, say yes to that person, say no to that thing, whatever you need to do,
Yeah.
so that we learn and continually evolve, instead of like, who I was at 20, I'm cool with that. I'll be that until I'm dead. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't think any of us signed up for that. And if you're listening to this, I know you didn't. So, right.
I'm working with some business owners right now, and I'm also working with another group that's creating an event. So both of these instances, when you were explaining that, were immediately popped up in my brain field. The people that have a vision for a particular community event that will absolutely raise money and change lives, there's a little bit of this, what do you guys think and what do you want to do and all that. So there's a collaborative approach, which I totally love. But really, they have in mind, these two individuals, an experience that they want to create to change their community. And for them to come into that and create art through a human experience, through an event is an experiential art. I mean, whether people
Mhm.
get a grip on that or not, that's what it
Mhm.
is. Like, to me, it's so fun to be part of that and listen to them and help pull out of them what their vision and mission is. But it's so funny because I did say to them, well, you kind of think it's going to look like this, but I'm telling you what, by the time we get over here, it's going to be completely different. So just be open to the evolution of this piece of art that you're creating.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just know, because there's a lot of fear of, will it be successful? Can we do it with it? Who the hell cares?
You
Okay,
don't,
first
you,
of
yeah,
all,
you can't control all the
of
outcomes.
course, of course, all the things will happen, and it'll be deemed a success based on how you feel about it, not metrics and,
Yeah.
views and money and whatever things are. Like, that's not what's going to make that a success. Same for this small business owner over here who is, taken a big leap of faith and purchased a business and is growing a business very rapidly and immediately wants to expand and has an incredible passion and vision for this business, these business opportunities that lie ahead. However, he thinks these things are going to be, and this path might be, and we talk strategy and all that. That is not at all what's going to happen. So the most important thing I can impart and be part of is helping those individuals like bring their full toolbox
Mhm.
to the project with
Mhm.
all of the tools, their entire lifetime of experience, not
Mhm.
just what they've learned in the last 5 years running a business or whatever, a lifetime of talent and skills and different value systems come with them to that project. And they're all resources just waiting there to be utilized.
Mhm.
And by the
Mhm.
way, you're going to use most of them.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's so cool to have that kind of open idea. And I wish more people would give themselves this permission to
Mhm.
just say yes, stay in the game, move forward, hold agency over your life, and just start playing the cards. Just start playing the cards.
It reminds me of that beautiful, I think it was Martin Luther King who said it, you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step, right?
Exactly.
And it's like, just know there's a staircase to the sky, right? Of your dreams, this vision you have for a business or whatever. And it's like, oh, I think the stairs are going to go in a little circle up to the left, right? And as you take the first step, oh, it doesn't, even the first step teaches you something about the staircase, right? Or, what might happen and whatnot. So it's,
Mhm.
what you're saying is take that first step. Okay, take that next step. Okay, and then be prepared for the direction that the staircase goes to evolve. The rocket ship leaving the Earth, it's like it has an arc to it, whatnot, but it's constantly off path. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
correct, correct, correct. And one of the things I love about you and what, you and I believe in coaching people is, if you have the toolbox and the resourcefulness, as you, let's say we're out on a backpacking trip, it's like, well, I got these pieces of equipment, whatever. It's like the backpacker is probably the most important thing in that trip. Being successful or not is, are they resourceful? Do they believe in themselves? Can they get themselves out of trouble? Can they troubleshoot when, whatever? And
Exactly.
take
Did the
self-assessment.
did the adventure fail because the backpack broke or they didn't have the wrong equipment? Absolutely not. Give me a freaking break.
Right.
It was the backpacker in that instance who didn't strategize and wasn't nimble enough to adapt and couldn't problem solve and,
Mhm.
whatever, all the other skills that were required to, get the length of the PCT done or whatever their goal was, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let go of expectations that were not reasonable. Oh, well, I
Right.
was going to do it this fast and it was going to look like this. And, it's no longer Instagrammable. Now it's a disaster train wreck and I'm embarrassed to tell anybody. That's when it's just getting good, right?
Story gets interesting when it's not as you expect it, right? Because if it goes as planned, hey, it's like kind of boring. You're like, well, check that off the list. That,
Mhm.
it's more um, enriching in so many ways. The experience, if you view it that way, if we have the paradigm of curiosity and discovery, and I wonder how this is going to go, when we look through that lens, it's okay how it goes, right? We don't, like one of my favorite teachers says, if you start in your home and you go out on this thing called vacation, let's say you're going to go to like 3 different locations, or you're going to take a road trip across the US and end back at your home, that's called vacation. You go, well, my starting is home and I'm going to end at home. Well, why go?
Mhm,
No,
mhm.
you head out on that vacation or that road trip or that journey, that experience, so that you can go and bump along and see what's along that path, not just to get home because you're already home, but for the path, the journey.
So you know what drives people to do all of these things, take these journeys, if you will, whether it's any of the examples we've shown, is shouldn't be the curiosity to see what's outside, but instead to see what is inside.
Mhm. Well said. Well said.
I mean, the biggest journey we're on is the internal journey of knowing thyself.
Mm, mm,
And so, as many things I can do, as many miles or experiences, or as much time as I can put in, or energy and effort into knowing my inner self better, my true self. Oh, hell yeah. That's freaking priceless.
sold, sold.
Priceless.
That's so
Mhm.
good. So what's our wrap up takeaway? Do we have a one thing that you feel is strong?
Stay
What's
in
your
the
one
game.
thing?
Stay
Yeah,
in the game.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's my big thing.
Because there's gold for you. There's gold in the experience. There's gold in doing it, taking the first step, taking the next step. So many good things. So know your strengths, pull out your toolbox, stay in the game, stay present in the moment. Like you had, some things that you were able to do, some things you weren't able to do, your body could do, your body couldn't function, but you're like, I can take this next step. I can get some help in this warming tent. I can stay focused. I can manage my nutrition. Own your decisions, extreme ownership, leadership, just, doing a lot of this, while we definitely believe in collaboration and support and community and stuff, what we're talking about here is you doing the best you in your daily life and in your moments of extremeness that you can, and finding out more of who you are along the way.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And looking at all the cards, playing all the cards. I think a lot of times people won't really look at them because they might think that some of those cards that are in their hand, maybe they're not worthy of or capable of, or
Mhm.
whatever mental block they have around.
What's it going to take? Yeah, what's it going to take to
Hmm.
do?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. But play it, step into it. Fear is going to show up, ugliness, mistakes, lackluster,
Oh, yeah.
surprises, majesty, magic, serendipity is also available too. you know.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
all right,
All
my
right,
dear,
lady.
beautiful. Congratulations on your win, on your
Thank you.
success, on completing another one. Can't wait to watch you in Oregon. You've got another one on the books already. So,
Yeah, and really it's just adventures. This is who we
mm,
are in the world, you and I.
yeah.
And we wouldn't have it any other way.
Stay tuned. So, what do you want to remind our beautiful humans today as we sign off?
Oh, that messy, messy life. How it looks is not as important as how it feels.
Yeah. Every day is your opportunity to find your awesome.